Welcome, everyone. I'm Bill Hanifin, the managing editor of The Wise Marketer, and I'm here with Tommy Danielsen, who's the founder of FT Events. Tommy, how are you?
Hey, Bill. Good to see you. Always a pleasure.
It's good, always, absolutely. So the Loyalty Summit CXM is taking place February 5th and 6th. That's next week, if I know the calendar. It's in
It is
Beverly
next week,
Hills.
and we're recording this on January 31st, so it's Friday before the week of craziness and fun
That's
and
right.
good meals and hopefully a little bit sun and fun also.
It's going to be good. No, it's really going to be good, and we'll talk about the conditions there in a minute. But it's at Beverly Hilton, which is a fantastic property. We were there last year, and I mean, that made it special right there. But the agenda, the attendees, the group that, I mean, you've gathered a significant set of customer focused leaders, I would call them. These are C-level people, program managers. These are the people that really matter in our business from my point of view. And they're from a lot of global brands, notable brands, ones that we're very familiar with. And
Right.
we put together a pretty neat theme. You've got a conference chair, Phil Rubin, who's put together this theme about innovating loyalty. It's about time, and you know how he likes to talk about getting loyalty unstuck. But I'm
That's
looking
his.
forward to it.
That he's been talking about that for a while, and now we've got a lot of things that can be done with CRM and AI that can help you accelerate Phil Rubin's dream about moving up from the Renaissance, the loyalty Renaissance, to the future of
Yeah,
to a bright AI future filled with all sorts of fun data that you'll have available.
yeah, yeah. So a little bit of an admission. I've been even talking to you. I feel like a newbie in the business because the frequent flyer space is the backbone of customer loyalty. Is the way I look at it. If you look back and you and Randy Peterson, there are some other people that were doing things way before when I was still trying to figure out what a segmentation was. Let's just put it that way. So when I look at it, you've worked with a lot of the OGs. Maybe at this point I'd call you one of the OGs, but you've been visionary, that's for sure. And I just love to. I think people always love to know the guy who's the founder and know his story. So I don't
Right.
know what's your journey been like to this point in this business.
Yeah, so I met Randy back in the days when he was I was still living in Europe. I'm from Norway and Scandinavia, and I met him back then, and he asked me to be a moderator for the. I used to be a huge SAS flyer, meaning I was the higher top tier at Eurobonus, and
Mm.
and he asked me to be a moderator on Flyer Talk. And I wouldn't call myself a travel hacker. I like a good deals every once in a while, but I travel, 240, 250 days a year for work back then. And
Mm.
was a moderator with him. And back then it was Gary Leff, who writes The View from a Wing, a really good friend of mine. He was the senior moderator, and that's how I got to know him back then.
Mm.
And so I had my day job. I was an executive at a telecommunication company, and back until 2009, when the Freddies were discontinued, I asked
Mm.
Randy if I could take it over. Me and Gary actually asked Randy if we could take it over, and his diplomatic response was, "Yeah, Freddie Laker, and it's his name. I don't know." And what he really, if you read between the lines, was, "If I couldn't make it work financially, what makes you think that you can do it?" So Gary and I, we put in some hours, and we started the Frequent Traveler Awards. And long story short, we merged with the Freddies. I was the president of the Freddies for up until 2017, and in 2018,
Okay.
the Freddies was a standalone thing, and we didn't agree on the future of it all, because I think that it's important that when you're asking our friends in the loyalty industry, executives, to travel around from all over the world, to go to a dinner only is not a very good use of their time. So traveling from like Emirates or from Singapore and whatnot. So
Right.
I wanted to create something that had good content, and that's where the Loyalty Summit that was in the fall of 2018 was the first Loyalty Summit, and also the awards, where the Frequent Traveler Awards. And as you know, the Freddies were discontinued a couple of years ago, so now that's kind of the thing, and it has evolved. We've learned a lot, but the most important thing for us, and we've known each other for for well over a decade. I mean, I remember us being in Montreal and being in Florida
Yeah.
at the race course there, or the track, the horse track there, and all that. We've known each other a very, very long time. So I would say you're also an OG for sure. But what we were passionate about, and that's how the story of the Loyalty Summit is. We want to create fantastic content in a great environment. We want it to be succinct. We want to have the right people in the room. CXM is very new. This is the second event. And unfortunately happening under circumstances in Los Angeles. It's the home of this event.
Right.
But the pickup is 38% more attendees this year compared to last year. So we're pretty happy with that, and we can't wait to welcome everybody next week. And it's going to be some really good discussions with the brightest minds in the room for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So I mean, yeah. Well, you were talking about we were talking about the theme, getting loyalty unstuck. Honestly, I felt like the conference business in our space has been stuck for a little while. So I think having your fresh approach to a conference has been really helpful. But you could have done a lot of different things. I mean, what got your attention on loyalty? What was the inspiration? Like, what the opportunity you saw to create a loyalty CXM?
Well, I think the CXM is what we've seen is, like you mentioned earlier. Travel loyalty, specifically airlines, and also now hotels are also involved. They're now matured into being the most important part of running a business specifically for airlines. We just got the financial numbers, the annual report for American, United, and Delta, and without loyalty involved, Delta wouldn't have sold $6 billion worth of miles to American Express in a year. And obviously, without loyalty, American Airlines would be bankrupt. It's very easy to read between the lines in that. So it's extremely important for us. And I do like the way that the industry is evolving now. And that's why kind of retail loyalty is obviously completely different. It has some similarities, and there's going to be a little bit of overflow between or flow between the two types of loyalty. But there is enormous opportunities, extremely early in the game. That obviously we've moved beyond buy 9 pizzas and get one free or stuff like that. But
Right.
There's tons of opportunities and a lot of good companies that are going to be there that can show you, give you good ideas and inspiration of what happens next. And I think that's why we wanted to move into retail. I mean, CXM, and we called it CXM, and which might be some confusing to somebody, but to explain what it is, it's a retail focused thing with CX and CRM kind of meshed together to something we try to coin. But it is a retail focused conference, but there are elements of travel. People, we're looking at the attendee list that freshly came out today, that goes out to the attendees today. There are some a good mix of companies, even though it's retail heavy. That's what we want, and I think that there's a lot to learn from one vertical to the next. And retail loyalty in retail is going to be extremely important for who gets on top of that and is investing in it right now. They're going to be the leaders in the future for sure.
Yeah. So that touches on the question that I had for you: is who benefits the most from attending Loyalty Summit CXM? Is this in the middle? Is it at the top? Is there something for everybody? How does it work out with what you're planning?
Well, I think anybody that's in loyalty marketing and works in loyalty program, retail, and also anybody who is in travel loyalty will also have an advantage of it, because you have a lot of partnership opportunities. When we're looking at the attendee list, we have everything from Nike to Amazon to Warner Brothers to Universal Studios to Disney to Mattel. There's like a lot of companies there that might be interesting for the airlines and hotels and car rental companies and cruise loyalty programs to partner with. There's a lot of partnerships between the both, and those databases meshing together is definitely an important, one of the most important aspects of partnerships are extremely important. So anybody that works in loyalty, even though the the program is slated to being more lean towards retail. You're still going to, and also CX and CRM.
Mhm.
You're going to see a lot of companies that airlines can do business with.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. And so there's a lot of good content. And you were talking about partnerships when I guess I can't get the sales thing out of my gene, but you've left a lot of time for networking in here too, haven't you? I mean, because that's why we go to these events. We want content. We want a chance to see our peers, our colleagues, our
Right.
clients, right?
Yeah, and there's nowhere better in these United States. Maybe in Manhattan, but if you're talking about a small geographical area with temperatures that aren't too. Beverly Hills is a great area to be in. We've got the Loyalty Leaders Party that's going to be right after day one on Wednesday this coming week, which is our friends at Loyalty Methods have gracefully is paying for that party. And I saw lobster on the menu and Kobe steak. Ooh. So let's make sure that we stop by there, shall we?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then we've got a tradition we started. It's called the Retailers Only Dinner, which is we only invite retailers to join an evening with us. And it's at El Pastaio, which is an Italian restaurant in Beverly Hills. So that's Wednesday night for you. And of course, we the most important by far, our biggest differentiator is that makes us different from any other loyalty conference out there is the content. But we also like to have it at a classy place and make people have a good time. I think that's the hotel is really nice. You got a pool. Actually, fun fact, that pool that's downstairs is at the Beverly, and the Beverly Hilton is a 5-star hotel. It's not your regular Wichita Airport Hilton we're talking about here. Or what was the name of that hotel we had the Freddy's at, the last Freddy's in 2009, the Hilton by the Fort Lauderdale Airport.
I know it well. Yeah,
there was some stuff floating in the pool at that one. So it's not your regular one. It's a really historical hotel that our friends over at Hilton, Mark Weinstein and Jennifer Chick, are really proud of that property for sure.
Yes,
and,
sure.
It's classy as hell, and it's really nice. And the pool is the first, the largest pool of its size. When it was built back in, I don't know when it was built for that place. So it used to be that. And, they also have the Golden Globes there. The Golden Globes, I think, are this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have a room there that holds like 3,000 people. Obviously, that's not where we're going to be, but it's right by where that is. So, yeah, it'll be a great time, and the attendee list is it's still a conference that will grow in the future, that hasn't really matured yet. It takes usually 3 or 4 events until they're at the point where we have the right mix like for our regular summit, for the ones that are in the travel space, they're capped. We have a maximum. Now we're all about tweaking making sure that the mix of who is in the room. Both Chicago and London for the Travel Loyalty Summit were sold out last year, and we're doing that. But these events are supposed to be larger, and they're supposed to be more of a meeting point for think tanks and things like that. But we're pretty proud of all the hard work that Phil has done. Phil is a great guy, and it's super duper. I love his mind. He's a really intelligent guy. And of course, David Slavic has helped us out on the sales front for this, and it's made it really successful as well. So we've got a lot of bright guys of, Dave Canty is on our advisory board, is going to be there, which built. And
that's right.
I think it'll be good. And of course, you and Aaron helping us out with our podcast. And I think it'll be a good. I'm looking forward to this.
It is. It's going to be a good one, and I'm happy to be part of it too, because obviously we've talked about it's taking place in Los Angeles area, Beverly Hilton. It's an area that's gone through a tough time, right? It's been in the news, ravaged by these fires, and it's calmed down. It's gotten back to normal as far as I know. But I mean, I've lived in Hurricane Alley for a long time, and so I know what it's like to be in or near a disaster zone soon thereafter. I'd love to hear just like what is happening on the ground there. And the second thing is, I know you're all collectively, we're going to have the opportunity to do some good for the community by being at the conference, right?
Yeah, Talent One made a donation. We did a fundraiser for the fires. I mean, the way that and you live in Florida, natural disaster is unfortunately happening more and more often these days. It seems to me that there's always something going on, which is unfortunately evolving. And the fires are out. Both of the fires, both the Palisades fire and the Eaton fires are both out. And we've been in contact with both the, and, you know, it's absolutely devastating when you think about that there's been 16,255 structures that has been lost. The good news is that Californians have really stepped up, and there is more than enough help to go around. We're doing the World Kitchen, and we're doing the Pasadena. What's it called? The Pasadena. Oh my goodness! The SB, not the SB,
the Humane Society.
Humane Society of Pasadena, right? So we're taking in a lot of the Altadena pets that have been roaming around and reuniting them with their owners and stuff like that. It's been a great story. There's tons of good videos out there. We've for the last week and a half, I think it is, since we decided to make an effort for this. All of the money that comes in from retailer tickets are going to those two organizations. So there'll be a nice donation, and we're doing that through the Frequent Traveler Education Foundation, which is our 501c3 that runs the Frequent Traveler University. That has raised almost $900,000 since for all of these frequent flyer geek events that we've been doing throughout the years. So we're very happy to be making a donation next week, and we're going to make a big deal out of that. And Talon One has stepped up for us, and I think that's cool. One of our sponsors. Great. So thanks to them. And but LA, the fires are out. Things are quote unquote back to normal. It's important to keep in mind how many people live in LA, and the areas affected and it's very spread out, right? So, but like you said, when the hurricanes are over, it's not like, okay, the wind is gone and the rain is gone and let's go back to work. That's not how it works. There's just like in Florida after a hurricane, there's tons of cleanup and stuff that needs to be done. Right. So, but it's completely safe. There's no shortage of hotel rooms. People are all taken care of. It obviously helps that the city is really big, and the people who are evacuated wouldn't be enough to. It really isn't enough to fill up more than 10 hotels, right? So it's not really that big of a thing. So I think that we've been in contact with authorities, and we checked in with them multiple times a week to make sure what the recommendations were, and the recommendations are: let's not have an impact on the rest of society, and let's keep the guests coming. Right. That's going to be important to all the businesses that are there.
Yeah, and that's a good message to close on, right? Because we all have 100 reasons to attend Loyalty Summit CXM next week. Great event, all the way through. But we get to do some good in the process, and I think that's a feel-good thing. So for anybody that hasn't registered, there's opportunity to do it. We're going to be there. Our whole team is going to be there. We're honored to be partnering with Tommy as a media partner here at the Wise Marketer, and I really appreciate your time today. It was a good conversation.
It was always a pleasure to talk to you, Bill. One of the OGs in the business, and there's a link at the bottom of the screen where you can just get your ticket, last-minute ticket. Still a little bit less than 20 tickets available, so we hope to see you there.
All right, great. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thank you.